We're back in the tent, but this time we're actually in the tent, and we have video proof. I didn't bring my camera when I interviewed Callum Gadet. I forgot it. But I have some great guests. I'm joined by Good Dear Good. How are you?
Good.
How are you?
Dear Good.
I'm good. Dear Good, yes. So about your name, I heard, I think Rankin introduced you, right? And mentioned that, but I didn't know, like, I thought, you know, it's probably Good Dear Good, like, but I didn't necessarily put it together. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that reminds me of what old people say.
Yeah.
But then it's like,
pretty
that
much
is.
what it is.
Exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, it was popularized by Bette McDonald when she was on, I think it was This Hour's 24 Minutes. She had Mary McDonald was her character's name, I believe, and it was like, oh, how you doing today? Good, dear, good.
There was a little shout out she had for us one time, I think, on Twitter, maybe it was?
Something like she was like following us on like Facebook posts and stuff like that for a little while, her and Maynard. And like before I even knew that was kind of where it had been popularized from, it was just a term that like we had grown up with, and then somebody was like, oh, that's like very huge within like This Hour's 24. I think that's what it was. This Hour's.
She was like, "Oh, that's a great
21
band
minutes."
name.
Yeah, 21 minutes. I haven't watched it in a long
22
time.
minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say
22 minutes. I was saying 24 and 21. Yeah,
No,
it's 20.
21.
It's
No,
22.
definitely 22.
22
Somewhere
minutes,
in
sorry.
between.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, we're on the last day of this this festival, so it's we're running on fumes. But if you caught us at a better time, maybe we would have got that one. But that's fine. Yeah.
I read that you have Cape Breton roots, but I mean, I think this is my first time meeting everybody, so I want to ask about that. Where's the Cape Breton connection here?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brandon's from
I'm
Glace
from Glace Bay.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And I'm from Neils Harbor, which is up in the woods, up in the
Nice.
northern Cape Breton. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm from Port Hawkesbury, so I don't know Cape Breton as well as I should. It's like
Oh, right
technically
on.
Cape Breton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those towns that's like not like it is, but it's like kind of not.
On the cusp.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like almost like an extension of Antigonish, you know?
It is. It's kind of like Antigonish, but with like less young people.
Yeah.
Because they all like go to
Opportunities
Antigonish.
await.
Yeah.
God, that's what our sign says. Isn't
Yeah, something like that.
I
Yeah.
don't know what
Well,
opportunities.
like we've been waiting.
Opportunities wait. Someone should have wrote the A.
Comma. Wait.
It reminds me of that Simpsons gag. No, money down.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So, I mean, I guess you've been playing for 5 years together. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess it would be 5. It was 5 years in August that we like released all the socials and all that kind of stuff, and then we played our first show in October of 2018.
Nice. So it's coming up.
Yeah, our 5-year anniversary. We don't count 2 of those years though because COVID, but
Fair.
we still got a couple shows in there during that time. But it was definitely a bit of a struggle for everyone, I'm sure. But
How did you all meet each other?
at school. Well, Brandon and I were dating before we actually went to school. We dropped out of our university degrees and then went to music school together. And then we met Connor and Connor's in Ontario right now, by the way. We had Spencer McPhee filling in for him today, but yeah, we met Connor and Izra at the NSCC Music Arts program.
Nice.
That's kind of how we all got roped in with one another. Yeah.
Did I hear? I don't know if this is true. I heard you went to St. FX. Is
I
that
did.
True?
I did for 2 years. You might see me on some old Fox records.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I wanted to ease it in with the St. FX, and then you were involved in CFXU. That's so cool.
Yeah, I did a couple recordings. Once with I think his name was Brendan McDonald, and then the year after that with Cassie Mann, I did a couple songs with them for the campus CD, which was my first kind of like recorded music ever. Was actually with the CFXU CD,
That's so
which
cool.
is kind of cool. Yeah.
That CD, like, it went away for so long, and then we brought it back this year because it's like so cool, right?
Oh,
Just
it's
so
a
many
great
people
idea.
just get
Yeah,
to,
it's awesome.
you know, people who have never recorded even can just do that, which is super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, after 5 years of playing together, -2 for COVID, but your debut record's out. Arrival.
yeah,
How has
finally.
the reception been for that? I mean, it's. I will say, and I'm not saying this because you're in my tent right now. It's a phenomenal record. It really is.
Thank you so much.
you.
I'm a
Thank
huge
you.
fan of it, and a lot of people seem to be. I mean, the crowd was super receptive today.
Thank you.
Yeah, how's that been for you guys?
Great. Yeah, it's fun.
Very
It's,
good,
it's
yeah.
like it's so fulfilling to finally have this body of work out there because we've been playing these songs for 5 years.
Yeah.
-2 because of COVID. But yeah, no, but it's nice because now we can, that's done.
It's like
we'll still
era, I guess.
Yeah,
we
can.
We finished the record, put it out,
and we have some new ones in the works now that we can finally kind of focus on and start working towards getting them recorded and that kind of stuff.
This is the time when we're gonna play these songs for a little bit, but there's so many bands in Halifax where I love their first record. Then you go to they're planning their second record now, and they're going to their shows and they're playing those new songs, and then they kind of forget about those first ones, and you're like, why aren't they playing that one anymore? But then it's okay, they have bigger and better things coming up.
We'll definitely play them here on out for a little while, but really excited to get some new stuff out and going, and I think we've caught our stride with our recording process now too. We've kind of settled into what works for us efficiency wise, which has been really helpful to get some things out quicker and stuff.
Yeah, tell me about the process of making this record, recording wise and things like that. I mean, you were the first and I think only signee of Lulo so far. That's super cool. I mean, I got a lot of press coverage too, which is great. How did that come about?
We had played a show, because their final semester project for their first semester was to put together a show, and we were on the bill for that. And then in January, their next big semester project was to make a label, and they needed to work and develop an artist in the city, and they approached us to see if we'd be interested in doing that, and we were like, yeah, hell yeah, we'd love to. And it was originally supposed to just be
make a
mock label, do one song with them, do one release cycle, and then when they had approached us, we had almost everything recorded for Arrival. And we're like, so we actually have an EP if you guys want to help us with that. And they kind of looked at it. I remember it was
really funny.
Yeah, Nick and Maisie were
and
Nick and Maisie
and Juan.
And Juan, yeah.
And they were like, hey, one song. And we're like, how about an EP? And they were just like.
And they kind of looked at each other and they're like, yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think that'd be cool, yeah. So and then after that, they were just kind of like, yeah, we. They're in the process of that. They're like, we really like working with you guys, and we kind of want to make it a full-time, long-term thing. And they've been super helpful so far, so it's been really great.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I mean, and I want to ask you about the recording of it. Where was the record recorded? How long did it take? Stuff like that.
So from our first single off the record was "The Storm," which was released in 2020 January. So it was just before the pandemic hit. And then that point forward, we were kind of doing one single a year because it was just such a long process and things like that. We did everything from the ground up with John, which was great.
John Mullane.
John Mullane, future dad, which is amazing. Did a really great job with all the songs and things like that. But with schedules, everybody working different jobs, it was really hard to kind of coordinate those schedules a lot of the time. But so we kind of shifted that. We did some recording at Fang with Thomas Stacer. We did drums, bass, guitar. I did vocals, synth, lead guitar at home, backup and lead vocals with these guys, and Izra did synth. And then we sent everything off to John for mixing at that point. So aside from the first 3 singles, we sent everything off to John for mixing, so it still had that really, really great polish that John has with the songs. And then we used Paul Edwards for the first 2.
And legend.
Love Paul.
Yeah.
And then Christian Montano for the remaining 5 after that. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's been a bit of a jigsaw puzzle of putting everything together, but we've kind of figured out that kind of working recording process that really works for us, which is good.
That's so awesome. I mean, it's just going to kind of make things easier going forward too, which will be super cool.
Absolutely.
And so the last thing I want to talk about is I'm sure you've heard it 100 times and you'll hear it 100 more. You released a cover of July in August. Tell me about that. I mean, I think everyone can infer probably wasn't intended to be released in August, but it just happened that way. But so I've seen it all over. It seems to be the talk of the town. So tell me about that. Let's officially kibosh and quell the rumors. Let's set the story straight. Why in August?
It's on purpose.
Absolutely intentional. Didn't have anything to do with distribution needing 5 to 6 weeks for getting things out.
We planned this January.
That would be really
Plan,
funny.
yeah.
In reality, we had the song finished in July, but then it was like by the time that we had it to distribution and everything, they were like, we can't release
All the
it until
distribution stuff takes like
several weeks.
at least, like,
So it
4
was
or
just
5
kind of
weeks,
like, and
so.
like we were very busy in June, so we kind of like lost some traction, and we had like mostly finished.
But then
in June.
we were like, okay, if we can't release it in July, it would be hilarious to release.
Yeah,
it
we could kind of
in
make that
August.
like a
Like,
marketing
what better
approach.
time to
Like,
release a song called July?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that stupid video. So yeah, we just kind of embraced that, and we're like, whatever. Hopefully, people will enjoy it regardless of the weird conundrum of
We've been on
month
a
names.
big Noah Cyrus kick for
So
a
good.
long time now.
Yeah,
Her music is just like meaningful and beautiful, and we're just like, let's just make it like a rock anthem for a
version,
minute.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's super cool, and it's great. And you can listen to Good Dear Good's single and cover of Noah Cyrus's July out now, and of course their debut. Would you call it an EP or a full length?
I usually say EP. Yeah.
Listen to the debut EP Arrival out everywhere. Where can people find you, and what do you have coming up?
The best place to kind of check in with us would be Instagram, I guess.
Instagram,
It's like
yeah.
pretty much our most active social media. We still post on other things, but Instagram's the one that we keep up with the most.
Facebook for like our parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Our
Yeah.
aunts and uncles.
Yeah, so they can comment
Yeah.
weird personal things on our band posts.
Yeah.
Love
Exactly.
this picture. Awesome pic.
Yeah.
Call me
How's your
back.
mom and dad? Yeah, so like that's kind of what Facebook is nowadays. But we're heading to Newfoundland in September for Contact East. So we're going to be in Woody Point, Newfoundland from the 20th to the 24th. Yeah, it's going to be super
Yeah,
exciting.
It's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, Nova Scotia Music Week in November. And then we have like a couple other things that are on like not standby, like just not announced or fully confirmed yet for the fall. So we're just kind of sitting on that for right now, and then hopefully gonna get some recording done and do some more stuff over the fall.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah.